Hi, this is Red Joy, and today I'm going to take a look at the real differences between republics and democracies. In this political climate, it's easy for folks to look at political parties as everything in our society, from what economic theory people follow to what policies should be taken, about what foreign allies we should have, and whether or not I'm allowed to like certain artists. For this video, we're going to take a slight break away from the titles of political parties and focus on the classic terms of Republicans and Democrats to show where these people got those specific titles. Before going into these systems, there are going to be some denotations of what these terms are, rather than what political scholars, historical researchers, and other academics have developed as connotations of what's a republic and what's a democracy. Obviously, I'm going to be a fart on the wind on this. If some scholar responds and says, yeah, but the common term to be used is ... then I'm not going to be offended. But I will have a huge respect for scholars who reflect back on the original language and the historical meanings of these terms. Basically said, you do you, baby. When I refer to a democracy, I'm referring to the systems of power in a country, county, or region. In a democracy, who holds the power? The people. The term democracy comes from the Greek roots demos, which means people, and kratos, which means power. Democracy basically means that the people have the power. This is often expressed in elections, referendums, plebiscites, and public debates. Typically, democracies follow classically liberal values such as natural rights, the freedom of expression, limited government, and encouragement of people being involved in the government. All democracies utilize free, regular, and fair elections, as well as different customs around those elections, such as mail-in voting options, ranked choice voting systems, or compulsory voting laws. This involvement is done in one of two ways. The first way, made famous by the Athenians in classical Greece in the 4th century BC, is direct democracy. In a direct democracy, people vote on all public decisions. Typically, this is limited to a particular group, such as free adult male landowners, so slaves, women, children, and renters couldn't participate. This system is actually common among tribal groups as well, such as the Althing from the Norse, Danish, and later Icelandic governments, to the Anglo-Saxons Witan, to the Grand Council of the Iroquois, and many other pre-modern systems around the world. None of those systems were perfect democracies due to the fact that they limited the shareholders of the government to certain people. But they were different from other governments at the time due to their inclusion of the people in government affairs. Today, we can see direct democracy in action when laws are put forward to the population and voted on directly. In Switzerland and in the United States, this is done in some areas with referendums, where laws are put directly to the people. The other system of democracy is representative democracy, in which the people don't vote on laws or policies directly, but they elect representatives to write and implement policies for the government. This is much more common around the world due to the complexity of many policies and the need for expertise to understand the details of policies before they are enacted. If you don't believe me, try reading the hundreds of pages that make up our continuing resolutions that are just excuses for us not to pass a budget. I'll wait. This system was made famous by the Romans as they would elect tribunes, senators, and other officials to serve in the government and pass policies on domestic and foreign affairs. Specific officers held specific powers, allowing some form of experience to these offices to ensure that the government ran well and made good decisions. However, a major downside was that this led to corruption in the state. Buying and selling of particular political offices, wheeling or dealing for political favors, and of course, political tribalism. Oh, the United States and many other countries use this form of government? Neat. Representative democracy is oftentimes mistaken for another name, a republic. mostly because the era when it became commonly used was during the period of the Roman Republic. But what exactly is a republic, and why is it different from a democracy? As a specific definition, a republic is a state that is owned by the people. To make it even simpler, a republic is a state without a king. The origin of the word comes from the Latin res publica, which means thing of the people. Keeping the history in mind, we refer to the Roman Republic as the aftermath of the Roman monarchy, in which it expelled its final king, not necessarily for the voting system. This means that in theory, everyone in a republic is on equal footing regarding the law. This means that everyone follows the same systems of laws, has the same rights, and is generally supposed to be treated the same way in society. From republics, we get the idea of equal rights, the rule of law, protection from abusive courts, and protection from the abuses of aristocratic rule. Think of France in the late 1700s and early 1800s during its revolutionary era. It went from being an absolute monarchy to being a constitutional monarchy, then to becoming a republic, and then to becoming a military dictatorship, and then after that, be going back to two different versions of an absolute monarchy. All of these changes occur in relation to whether or not France had a king and how much power that king had over the government. Two additional ways of looking at this are to look at opposites and to look at current examples. The opposite of democracy is a state in which the people have no power and power is held in the hands of a single ruler or a small group. Voting rights by elites notwithstanding, an easy opposite to a democracy is an autocratic dictatorship or a single-party oligarchy. Meanwhile, the opposite of a republic is a state with a king or an aristocracy, regardless of government systems. Now to look at some modern examples. The United States is a democratic republic, in which there is no aristocracy or a king, and the people have the power to influence the government through elections. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy which incorporates democracy, in which even though there is a king and a group of aristocrats, the actual power of government is held by the people in elections in parliament. Finally, North Korea is a state without a king, thus technically making it a republic. However, the political power is held by the Workers' Party of Korea, so it's hard to say if it's an actual democracy. Okay, we all know it's not, but just humor us. I hope that this clears up a mistake that I've seen a lot of places. Well, maybe not a mistake, but definitely connotation versus an exact definition. A republic is not the same as a representative democracy. These are two different things, but they aren't mutually exclusive. A state can be a republic and a democracy, or it can be one or the other. So, the next time someone tries telling you that Athens was a democracy and Rome was a republic, please remind them that both Athens and Rome were both until they were both taken over by autocratic monarchies. Thank you so much for watching.